Hello, I welcome you to the Teaching Methodology Masterclass. Today we are looking at classroom management. Classroom management. I am Sir.Hendrix. We are going to look at the meaning of classroom management. We will also look at the styles of classroom management. We will also look at the techniques that we can use in class management or class management techniques. Now, what is classroom management? Classroom management refers to the wide variety of skills and techniques that teachers or you trainers use to keep students organized, orderly, focused, attentive on task, and academically productive during a class. When a classroom management strategies are executed effectively, teachers minimize the behaviors that impede learning for both individual students and group of students, while maximizing the behavior that facilitates or enhances learning. Generally speaking, effective teachers tend to display strong classroom management skills, while the hallmark of the inexperienced or less effective teacher is a disorderly classroom filled with students who are not working or paying attention. So, classroom management helps you maximize the behavior that the behaviors that do not impede or that do not become an obstacle during the lessons. Now, this is what classroom management is. Now, we need also to consider that classroom management is wide. It also covers the control of the students. It is about also how the students are seated, the arrangement, just the orderliness of a class. Now, let us look at the classroom management styles. Classroom management styles. Now, we will look at the 4 classroom management styles. Number 1, authoritarian. Authoritarian. Now, the authoritarian teaching style on classroom management style refers to a teacher who has complete control over their classroom. Authoritarian teachers create a highly structured learning environment with a strong emphasis on the rules. They expect undisputed compliance from their students and do not tolerate inappropriate behavior in the classroom. If students don't behave exactly as expected, then they are strictly punished regardless of their circumstances. In addition, teachers who adopt an authoritarian classroom management style tend to have a low level of involvement with their students. Now, what does this mean? Students sometimes do not engage in the class, in the classwork. They avoid seeking out opportunities to make connections and know very little about their students' lives. As a result, students in authoritarian classrooms often feel intimidated, distrusting, and distant from their teachers, therefore making it difficult for them to want to learn. It is also called dictatorial. Now, let's look at authoritative classroom management style. Although the names sound familiar, authoritarian and authoritative authoritative teachers and authoritarian teachers are very different. Like authoritarian teachers, educators, or trainers with an authoritative classroom management style do have a high level of control of their classrooms. However, unlike authoritarian teachers, they also have a high level of student involvement. So in here, the difference is that under authoritative class management style, there is student involvement. Authoritative teachers are firm yet fair. They set up rules and consistently enforce them, but they also value their students' input. If a student has feedback regarding class rules or ideas to improve the learning environment, the teacher will graciously accept the suggestions and make changes as they see fit. So, has control, this teacher has control over their learners or students, but he's also accommodative. Let's look at permissive. Permissive as another classroom management style. Now, permissive teachers or trainers are the complete opposite of authoritative teachers. They have a low level of both student involvement and control of their classroom. These trainers or educators who adopt a permissive teaching style are extremely checked out. They do not plan lessons or activities in advance and frequently wing it, relying heavily on movies and bookwork to fill their time. Permissive teachers do not establish rules or punish poor behavior. Students have too much freedom, resulting in a disorderly and unproductive learning environment. With the permissive classroom being so non-punitive and lacking structure, students often take control over it with little to no challenge from the teacher. Now, the other name for permissive classroom management style is laissez-faire. Laissez-faire. So this is another type of leadership style or classroom management style. We can see from the characteristics of permissive classroom management style that it is haphazard, meaning that this type of classroom management style is not organized. Let's look at the fourth type of classroom management style, which is somewhat similar to permissive teachers. Now it is called indulgent leadership or classroom management style. Similar to permissive teachers, those with an indulgent classroom management approach have a low level of control over their classroom. Indulgent teachers often live by the philosophy that highly structured classrooms hinder students' personal growth and self-esteem. For that reason, they allow students to freely express themselves and make their own decisions with no boundaries. This typically results in the students having too much freedom. Unlike permissive teachers, indulgent teachers have a very high level of involvement with their students. They care deeply about their students' and what is going on in their lives, but tend to be too friendly. Consequently, indulgent teachers are generally well liked by their students who feel comfortable talking to them. However, these trainers frequently lose their authority as the students see them only as a friend. So this is another type of classroom management style. Now, let us summarize this by looking at a diagram. In this diagram, we have more teacher control, while under here we have less teacher control. Then we have on the left, we have less student involvement, while on the right, we have more teacher involvement. Now, under authoritarian, we see that there is more teacher involvement and there is less teacher student involvement. Under authoritative, we see that there is a high or more teacher control, while more teacher student involvement. Students are involved. Under permissive, we see that there is less teacher involvement, while there is also less student involvement. Indulgent has more student involvement, while less teacher control. So this is how we can summarize what we have looked at. Ensure that you go through this diagram and make sure that you understand this. Lastly, let us look at the class management techniques. Number one, we will just look at the 8 techniques. Number one, model ideal behavior. In this, a teacher is like a role model. The pupils or the trainees learn from what the teacher is doing or behaving. The other one is let students help establish guidelines. The other management style or technique is to make sure that the pupils, the students, come up with their own guidelines. That's why you need to establish the guidelines and as the first time that you enter into class. The other one is you need to document the rules. Let not the rules be known by memory. No, document the rules. Also, encourage initiatives. Encourage initiative. So you need the school where I went to. They say it was said that failure to use an initiative is tantamount to punishment. So encourage initiative. Also offer praise. Some pupils or trainees like praise. So praise them. The other one is give tangible rewards. You can reward them. The other technique you can use is address inappropriate or off-task behavior quickly. When the moment a pupil or pupils behave inappropriate, you need to ensure that you address that behavior. Also, consider peer teaching. Now, peer teaching, this is when pupils or trainees are learning from each other. For example, you can give a task to a trainee to train others a particular skill or knowledge. So we have looked at this classroom management. We have looked at the definition of classroom management. We have also looked at the definitions of class management, and lastly, we have looked at the techniques that we can use in classroom management. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Please ensure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel and ensure also that you like the video. God bless you.